Hey, what's up? This is Amped3 here. A couple of months ago, I did a video about underrated or lesser known techwear brands, but I know you guys, like myself, are always kind of looking out for new stuff, so I've gathered up a few more ideas of techwear brands that perhaps you haven't heard of and put them together. The brands I've gathered up here have either some technical products or some kind of ninja type aesthetic, so I think are worth checking out for either of those two reasons. Prices are generally mid-range type stuff, so less than Acronym, mercifully, but a little bit higher than perhaps your average North Face or Patagonia type outerwear brand. First up is Cloudburst. This is a Russian brand which seems to have popped up relatively recently with quite a small collection of just 2 jackets, 3 shirts, and 2 different pairs of pants, and a belt as well. The clothing is all black and bears a very classic techwear type look. Their flagship jacket, the Orion for example, kind of looks like it has some samurai type armor going on the shoulders, which is pretty sweet. And the Taskmaster, which is their other outerwear piece, definitely has a Valence inspired type look, but with quite a high sort of Asian monk style collar, which is quite a cool little combination. They do provide technical details about the hardware and the materials used for their products, which is nice and quite refreshing as well, because I think a lot of these new startup brands can often be a little bit vague when they talk about the materials. They just sort of fall back on that it's waterproof type marketing speak without actually giving much to back it up. So these guys do that, which definitely works in their favor. There are some good features as well. I've spotted some magnetic pocket closings, jacket slings, and somehow, bizarrely, a laptop-sized pocket on the Orion jacket. Honestly, I think this stuff looks really nice. However, I do see 2 problems. Problem number 1 is the price. The Orion jacket retails at a massive $910, which is really quite a lot. It's, not quite Acronym, but it's not that far off. And considering these guys don't have the same sort of brand identity that Acronym do, it is quite a lot of investment to ask of people, I think. And even the pants come in at something like $220, which is more than ACG, for example. Based on the materials and the functionality of the stuff on their website though, it certainly is worth checking out anyway. The other little problem that I see is on their website there is only 1 picture of each product, which for me is definitely not enough to get enough of an idea of what these pieces are like. You kind of have to go into the Instagram and into the lookbook and stuff to find out exactly what all these different things look like. I much prefer the Acronym style of things, where they just give every possible feature and every possible angle of the jacket, just to help ensure that you know exactly what you're getting. So I think a little bit more on the product photo type camp, and this stuff could be really nice. Next up is 0608. This is a Korean brand which traditionally has been a little bit tricky to purchase outside of Korea. It's a bit of a sort of send them an email and ask them and they'll see what they can do type thing, as opposed to just being able to click a button as we're all used to and having it shipped to your door. However, this season seems like it's potentially a little bit different, because they released some teaser images on their Instagram recently, and they did mention that worldwide shipping is available. Whether that means that they're still going to continue along the same sort of system, or they're actually going to provide worldwide shipping on their website is not 100% clear, but personally the fact that they kind of gave that information makes me think that hopefully it is going to be proper worldwide shipping. The items that they showed off in this little teaser are a few pairs of cargo pants, which I think look really nice. One of them's got kind of double zips going on the back, one's got these parachutist style straps along the front, and one's quite an interesting cropped number with some sort of elastic detailing along the bottom. So there's definitely a lot to like about these cargos, and if they release other things as well to accompany them, which they almost certainly will, then it looks like the whole collection could be really nice, and definitely from that classic tech ninja perspective, definitely something worth thinking about. They did mention on their Instagram it is likely to be released late, but it's not exactly certain when late means. So my suggestion would be keep an eye on their Instagram for some more product photos and maybe some release updates. Keep an eye on their website as well, and then when this stuff drops, which hopefully it will do at some point this season, then you guys will be on it. Moving back to Russia now, we have Krakatau or Krakateo, something like that. Although they bear the rather edgy tagline of Antagonist Survival Kit, Don't write them off because of that. Currently, they exclusively do jackets, so don't expect to be able to buy an entire uniform from them. But of these jacket pieces, it looks like they have a few rather tasty looking things. Bomber jackets, parkas, that kind of thing. And the prices seem fairly reasonable as well, ranging from £200 to £300. And also on some of those things, the technical parka, for example, they claim 10,000 millimeters of water resistance, which is pretty decent, especially for a jacket of that price point. The aforementioned technical parka is one of their standout pieces for sure. As well as boasting that waterproofing, they've got jacket slings in there, they've got these extended cuffs which have thumb holes in, so when it gets extra chilly you can help keep your hands warm. There's also a lower arm pocket on there for carrying contactless cards, phones, anything that you need constant access to super easily, so that's a nice little feature. I also like the bomber jacket with the detachable full Slavcore hood, makes it look like you're gearing up for a bit of rioting. I'm also a sucker for that Alpha Industries style zip detailing on the arm, kind of gives a little bit of authenticity to that bomber flight jacket type look, which is definitely super cool. Interestingly, this is one of the few techwear brands which make products which look like they're exclusively designed or shaped for women. So if you are one of those tech girls out there who maybe finds that unisex stuff or the male only stuff doesn't really sort of fit that well, and you want something that's a little bit better designed for you, then these guys might have the answer. Next up is a brand which, to be honest, I'm not really sure how unknown they are, but it's definitely one that I've been sleeping on for a while, and that is Peak Performance. I'd previously written them off just based on the name, basically, because it sounds like Mountain Warehouse or one of those other sort of relatively cheap entry-level brands which don't really have anything to do with techwear. But I actually took the time to look at their stuff recently, and they have some really nice pieces. Although some of their clothing does definitely fit into that normie outerwear category, and they do put their branding on quite a lot of their products, which I don't really think looks that cool. On the ones that they don't opt for that branding, there's some really nice sort of Valence-esque grey man aesthetic type jackets. Gore-Tex construction as well, so pretty much a guaranteed seal of quality in terms of waterproofing and overall construction. And prices are not that unreasonable, even though some of their pants are weirdly expensive. If you're more into the performance and the understated side of things, rather than full-on anime man, then this is probably the brand of the five for you. Finally on this list we come to Outlier. The more woke of you might know this brand already because they have been around for something like 10 years now. Originally hailing from New York City. If you have a look on their website, it seems like a lot of their things are quite basic, quite understated, sort of mid-layer type stuff and some very plain pants. Again, a little bit grey man aesthetic. There's a clear focus on the materials used and the performance of said materials here. Under each product they give a nice little paragraph about what's going on and how it benefits you, all that sort of thing. But design-wise, it seems like there's nothing wacky by any means. And in fact, if you just look sort of on their web store, it looks like this is by a fairly sizable margin the least Tech Ninja, Techwear looking brand that is on this list. However, if you dive a little bit deeper into their experimental section, then you will find something different entirely. Their Experiments line is an occasional release collection which, you guessed it, experiments both in materials used and in cut, shape, design, all that kind of thing. They've had some really nice standout pieces, including an awesome huge cape, which they refer to as a cotton fortress. There's the bucket hat, a huge oversized sun hat, bucket hat type thing with SPF 50 protection and a wireframe brim so you can mold it however you like, and the open weight merino thing, which is basically just a massive amount of merino material which you can drape around yourself or wear however you like. And in these product photos where there's a little bit of wind going on, for that super minimal, super relaxed, wavy, casual kind of look, this kind of thing is super cool and looks awesome. If you're a bit sick of just wearing a jacket and a pair of trousers all day, or perhaps it's a little bit hot to do so, you want to mix things up a little bit, then this is definitely the collection that's going to be right up your street. It seems like availability, however, is not really that great. So my advice for this would be keep an eye on their subreddit, which I've heard is pretty active. Keep an eye on the product pages as well. You can sort of sign up for product alerts and stuff. So if you do see something that you particularly like, just do that little product alert, keep an eye on the subreddit, and then when there's new stuff coming out or there's restocks, hopefully you will be the first to know and you will be able to pick some of this stuff up. So that has been it, another 5 techwear brands which I think are worth keeping an eye on. Do let me know down there in the comments if some of this stuff is new to you, or if you're woke AF and you have already seen all of these brands before. Hopefully, even if you're relatively big on this stuff, there will be something here that either you haven't seen before or you've been sleeping on a little bit. I really appreciated the support in the last video, which was for that Riot Division transformative jacket. I'm really glad you liked that one as much as I did. So if you enjoyed this video as well, please do give it a like. I do really appreciate it. Next video, I'll be doing a sort of like collection type review. So there's 4 pieces that I'm going through, including the stuff that I'm wearing now. So hopefully you guys will keep an eye out for that one. I'm sure it will be really fun to edit and record and film and all that sort of thing. And that has been everything. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next week in the next video. Shout out to Nathan Hovey, who also mentioned the jacket that Riot Division have on Kickstarter, which is the Ultimate City jacket, something like that, which is pretty cool. Definitely worth checking out if you like that Riot Division piece from last week, but maybe that Parker length wasn't quite for you, because it's got this adjustable length thing going on, which is pretty sweet. And shout out to VRDVRBVDRV for correctly calculating how many beers you can get in the Riot Division transformative jacket. Of course, you can get 2 more if you're carrying 2 in each hand. If you enjoyed this video, you want to see some more, of course, they will be up there as always. And if you've seen a couple of these videos now and you don't want to miss out on when new ones come out every week, then of course you can hit that little subscribe button and you can ring the bell and you can do that.